Don't stop, go crazy.
I'ma make it back.
Don't stop, go crazy.
Said I'ma throw this money.
Don't stop, go.
How's everybody doing? Y'all doing all right? All right, that's what's up. So my name is Dichotomy. I'm a spoken word poet. I'm gonna do a poem for you all. So if you all like spoken word, let me get the finger snaps. Finger snaps, finger snaps, finger snaps. All right, y'all can please do me a favor and never do that shit again. We stopped snapping in spoken word poetry in like 2002. We don't do that anymore. So what I'm about to do, this is about to be an interactive experience. This is spoken word 2.0. So what happens in spoken word 2.0 is that you are a part of the poem. So there's something in this poem that I say that you agree with. Then let me hear you say message. Say message. Message. And I will know that you agree with what I'm saying. All right. Now if there's something that I say that's just so dope that you feel like you need to hear it again, you can simply say the word rewind. Let me say rewind. Rewind. And I'll go back and say that line again. Don't worry about messing me up. I'm a trained professional. This is what I do. So without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and do this poem. This is the poem actually that I wrote. I normally don't like doing other people's poems, but in this instance what happened was while the fashion show was going on, all of the dudes got together and wrote a poem collectively, and they asked me to say it on their behalf. So this isn't my poem. This is a poem that was written by every dude in here, and I'm just saying it on their behalf. So if there's a line in this poem that you don't like, I didn't write that line. One of the other dudes write that line. And anytime like you in a group project, there's always one person who want to make sure that they get credit for the shit that they do. And I forgot, what's your name, bro? JT. So JT wanted to make sure y'all know which line of the poem he wrote. So I will make sure he gets full credit for that. So without any further ado, this poem was written by all the dudes in here, and it is dedicated to any woman who is in a long-term, strong relationship with a single dude. Come on. There's somebody in here right now that is committed to the motherfucker and their boyfriend is single as hell running around Essence. So this poem is dedicated to you. This poem is dedicated to you. All right. Why wouldn't you just leave him? Instead of complaining every time he leaves the house and tell you where he's going and you say you don't believe him, why is it when he came home you opened your arms to receive him? And if he told you he didn't want to be in a relationship, why do you do everything you can to please him, told him he was a stranger in your house? And even though you told him he was a stranger in your house, and even though you knew who he was when y'all first started to go out, now when you look into his eyes you find it hard to realize that he's him. Because at this point in your relationship, he won't do shit unless it pleases him. Because at this point in your relationship, he won't do shit unless it pleases him. And despite his indiscretions, you tell your girlfriends that you would never leave him, which leads them to say that you're taking your sense of self-pride and committing suicide, or what me and JT like to call relationship treason. Because love is war and nobody's ever been able to play both sides. So love is war and nobody's ever been able to play both sides. So I wonder why you won't just leave him. It's not like you don't have a good reason. Your mother always told you if a man wants something bad enough, he will do whatever he can to get it. If a man wants something bad enough, he will do whatever he can to get it. So if his actions aren't in line with those words, I don't know why you won't just say forget it. But you see a woman can hear the exact same thing and process that shit completely different. A woman can hear the exact same thing and process that shit completely different, because you see a woman, when she wants something bad enough, she can take something that isn't and convince herself that it is it. She can take something that isn't and convince herself that it is it. Take a square peg, push it into a round hole, and convince those around her that it fitted, but are you really to blame? Because if these lames put y'all in that situation again and again, you have no choice but to think that we're all the same. More concerned with the way your hips turn than trying to learn your name is a shame that now you figure you gotta get with any dog and hope he's tame. Otherwise you'll end up leaving this world much the same way you came. Alone. And I wish that I could tell you that you're wrong, but you probably have a couple of female friends who already suffered that same fate. So you already have a couple of female friends that have already suffered that same fate. So now you've been led to believe to get with the dog with the least amount of fleas before it's too late. But I'm telling you, if you do that, you're only setting us up for more complaints, because deep down inside you know that he doesn't make a good mate, because he can't relate to the difference between love and affection. Sweet rubs and caressing, a hard-on and an erection, and I know you claim to love him. So you want to try to teach him those lessons. But he tells you he has no interest in trying to learn, because in turn doing so will make him feel less than a man. completely dismissing the fact that if he did so to make you feel more like his woman. Simple things like opening your door before you go in, so then you start to rationalize, well, girl, that's just the way he is. That's how he was when I met him. So anything he wants to do, she lets him. Goes to her girlfriends and complains about how much she detests him but won't leave him, allowing something to occupy her lifetime when it was only meant for a season. See, when you're holding on to something, allowing something to occupy her lifetime when it was only meant for a season. See, when you're holding on to something that doesn't want to be held. When the man that comes along for you that's meant to be, your hands are full and you won't be able to seize him. But believe when I tell you that there are other women out there that seize him. So if you're going to miss out on something that was meant to be, then holding on to something that never was shouldn't be the reason. You see, there's a difference between trying to compromise and being complacent. So when faced with the situation, you have to tell the difference between the two, can you? There's a reason that a standard is called a standard. It's because it was never meant to be lowered. That's like taking 3 steps back and 1 step up and trying to convince yourself that you're still moving forward and I'm just a person, I'm not trying to be too forward. No, fuck that. Yes, I am. Because sometimes you have to raise your voice when the volume of choice is the silence of the lambs. Ladies, how do you expect us men to act like we care when if we watch how you walk, talk, and dress, it seems like you don't give a damn? How do you expect a man to act like he cares when if we watch how you walk, talk, and dress, it seems like you don't give a damn? If you want a man to come at you with a different approach, you better show him that if he does so, it will garner a different result. Because if a man that is really trying to get to know you gets the same no move as a man that's only trying to hit, then at the end of the day, who is really to blame if that is all you end up with? And please don't blame it on how quickly us men might be trying to get y'all to be intimate. Because I know that every woman has this sense of self-respect and you want to make a man wait, and that's okay. But on behalf of every dude in here, let me state that if you aren't doing anything differently after the first 3 months that you were doing after the first 3 dates, it's going to take you a whole lot more than 90 days of some good sex to make a man stay. If you aren't doing anything differently after the first 3 months than you were doing after the first 3 dates, it's gonna take you a whole lot more than 90 days and some good sex to make a man stay. The shit just doesn't work that way. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. You see, the same 5 minutes that you are deciding whether or not you're gonna let that man dick you down, he's using those same 5 minutes to decide once he finally does if he's even going to stick around. So I shouldn't ask you why you won't leave him. You better be asking yourself, why am I staying? How do you expect to find the man that was meant for you if your actions are in line with what you're praying? And I'm just saying, I didn't write this ruin your idea of a good relationship. We're just losing patience with women who say that there are no good men when it's them that are on the complacent tip. Instead of stopping, I didn't write this to ruin your idea of a good relationship. I'm just losing patience with those who say that there are no good men when it's them that are on the complacent tip. Instead of stopping and trying to figure out what might be wrong with you. But you are quick to say that there are no good men by Steve Harvey's book and let him tell you what to do. Think like a man, my ass. So let me save y'all $19.99 and break it down for you. If you don't understand your value, then we will never value your wealth. If you're not saying anything of any substance, you are just wasting your breath. It's okay to follow somebody else's path, but please take your own steps. And I know in this world y'all can't do it alone, and sometimes you might need help. So it's okay to act like a lady, but baby, just make sure you're thinking for yourself. My name is Dichotomy. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.
I wasn't born last night. Anyway, who's the most loyal? I don't know what you're talking about. They be at that corner when they supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Some of y'all were hit, y'all like, he ain't talking about me. He was talking about most of us. How many of y'all actually adhere to the 3-month rule? See, one girl. Now this is my problem. I'm not finna adhere to that, because what if in 3 months the dick ain't good? Then I don't waste the 3 months trying to be a lady. And this nigga piss on his balls. What am I supposed to do?